You know something, wrestling fans? It's time for another edition of the Dark Match. This time, the WWE the WWE edition of the week, talking about Raw and SmackDown in the lead up to their Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. I'm Christopher Says, Dark Match's Mastodon and Monotone. With me is...
Oh, sorry, whatever. I'm the Arrow, everyone's favorite lovable scamp.
Okay. And I am No Leaf Clover, and this is What is Iron Sheik tweeting now? I respect the Simbodi. He lived the business. He best in the entertainment. He not like that motherfucker faggot piece of shit Hogan.
That is very astute and true. What?
I thought he was going to start talking about Brian Blair. Turns out it was Hogan.
The Brian Blair.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, we should ask Simbodi to tell him about us. We talk about, Simbodi follows us on Twitter.
He follows everyone on Twitter, though.
Yeah, I think I want to start following him and see if he'll start following me. But then again, I'm sure he just has a collage of updates that he doesn't even pay attention to because he's Kazarni.
It's crazy, man. So, on to Monday Night Raw.
Kansas City, Missouri.
Super Show.
Super Show.
Major wow factor.
Yeah.
Sorry. But the first thing I noticed when the show began was that Booker T was in the announce booth, and I was like, I said to myself, oh yeah, wait, Jerry Lawler was taken out. Okay.
Another night of Booker T drinking game. That makes 3 in this week of WWE.
Anyone that plays the Booker T drinking game, it's gonna die of fucking alcohol poisoning.
I know, because you have to drink 40 plus times every show.
Yeah, really.
It's best to do it with just drinks. It's best to do it with just beer.
But yeah, as has been the case with the past 2 months or so, Triple H is the first person to arrive.
Yeah, it was definitely time to play the game.
Well, it'd be funny. It'd be more funny if it wasn't so obvious that every time he's gonna be on TV, he's going to be the first fucking segment.
It's like 2003 all over again.
It is, and I did not like it back then.
No, it's just I wouldn't be surprised though if this eventually becomes 2 months down the line we don't see a beard on him and he's still opening the show, and then his hair's tied up. Oh wait, his hair's tied up now.
Yeah, no, him with his hair just not tied is kind of really weird to look at when he's in a suit.
Unless you want to believe that a Norse god kind of just that's what he looks like.
He wanted to be Thor.
Yeah, I think that's probably what he's going for. Hey, why didn't he just star in the Asylum release?
Because then he'd have to co-star with Kevin Nash.
Oh yeah, Kevin Nash was in that, wasn't he?
Well, he was in the sci-fi version. I didn't know if that was an Asylum version.
Oh well.
I think that was the Asylum version. It might as well have been.
Yeah.
Anyways,
those things blend together.
Anyways, a bunch of okay, and that's before I'm getting ahead of myself. Triple H says he fired Miz and Truth because of their WWE exclusive video online, and that their tab for their fine will be picked up by Mark Henry, except for the fact that was two $250,000 fines, as opposed to him just giving Mark one, which that's all he did. So he didn't fine him $500K, he fines him $250K.
Still a pretty hefty fucking fine.
Well, right. But
it's
still for the fucking world heavyweight champion.
I mean, $250,000. That's an announcer's salary in TNA.
I think it's a little high for an announcer's salary. Maybe that's not even Christy Hemia's salary. That's about $150K shy of her salary.
Actually, isn't her salary $250K? That was a joke.
No, I thought it was $110K.
Whatever.
Yeah, but still, way more than what she deserves for what she's doing.
Yeah, but nonetheless, Triple H puts over that very competently and creatively edited video of The Miz and R-Truth, ostensibly made by themselves.
Yeah.
basically explaining that, like, he's like, you're right, I used you and I fired you. I used you to get one more main event, used you to get some business, then I fired you. And
wow, that is vintage cerebral assassin.
It's him being like the sort of tough love kind of make an example out of someone kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where he's like, yeah, I'm not gonna bullshit. Like, you're good for business, but
now you can go now.
Yeah.
At any rate.
Yeah, well, Vicky Guerrero interrupts Triple H and brings out Dolph, and they come down. He complains about Hugh Jackman punching him, fracturing his jaw, which we know is a work.
I was hit by an actor! No offense.
Yes, I was hit by an actor. No offense. Best line.
Yeah, he says things like, these kids look up to me as a hero. God, I love those.
He says he can't eat solid food. Then Ziggler asks Triple H what he's gonna do, but Triple H is just like, nothing. Oh, he was an actor, yada yada yada. He'll get him. He said he'd get him some security for when the Muppets come on Halloween. Then Cody Rhodes comes out to interrupt. Cody is one of the few people who came out during the segment that had a legitimate gripe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Orton kind of utilized him beyond, like, the standards of the sport that they're portraying. Like,
I mean, I don't know when the last time Orton had to deliver a bell shot was, but you're supposed to use the wooden part, not the actual bell.
Yeah, but
I'm sorry, Cody. I'm out of practice.
Yeah, Cody shows off the staples in his forehead, which the camera very politely zoomed into him, which maybe wasn't the best ideas for, like, anyone watching. It was quite grisly, but nonetheless, I mean, seeing staples in anyone, but nonetheless, Triple H retorts by going, he's like, yeah, maybe I could just remember that and give consideration to it, just like I remember the time that you and Orton beat up my family.
No, like, Triple H is really kind of condescending here, where, I mean, he talks about how Cody needs to be a man because when, you mentioned, Orton beat up Stephanie. Triple H went to Orton's house and threw him out his front window into his front yard. Like, that's illegal.
He doesn't get that. He gets but yeah.
He tells Cody to man up. Of all things, it's just like,
it's still like a good heel when he mentions Cody beating up Steph in front of him or handcuffing him to the ring. Like, yeah, Cody's like, yeah, I was involved with that, wasn't I?
Yeah, that was kind of that was me, wasn't it? Okay, my bad.
But not really. And of course, Christian comes out, as we're starting to see a trend of grieving heels who complain that they're getting screwed.
I'm honestly kind of sick of Christian.
Yeah.
I'm really getting there.
You're gonna turn on him. He's gonna become the next Rey Mysterio for you.
I don't think he's gonna have that much heat with me because he doesn't cater to all the little jimmies. But, like, the gimmick was stale after, like, match 3 with Orton.
Well, even when he turned heel?
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, once you pair him with Orton, it's just like, I don't want to see him fed to Orton. Like, what is it? They've had 8 matches. Randy Orton 7, Christian 1, and Christian 1 on a DQ.
But actually, I wonder how much you're going to disagree with me when I talk about how wonderful their match was on SmackDown.
No, they put on good matches, but it's just like, they're starting to put on the same match. They do that same sunset flip powerbomb off the second rope spot every time where Christian is going for his sunset power flip, and Randy Orton's going to RKO him, and then he fakes it, and then we do the same thing every time now. Like, it was cool the first time, second time, it's like, oh, he scouted it. But now it's just like, okay.
Fair play.
It's like watching a waltz.
It's like watching a waltz?
Yes, they're just going through the motions. It's a dance. It's pre-choreographed, and I know all the moves.
But yes, Christian complains about Sheamus costing him the title last week, to which Triple H just goes, "Yeah, that was a lumberjack."
I said the exact same thing. I was like, this was a good move for them. Even if Sheamus was not out there to begin with, we had Christian, who somehow managed to escape the lumberjacks. I think because, Mark Henry tossed Trent Beretta into like 7 of them and knocked them all down.
Yeah.
So Sheamus comes out, tosses him back in, and technically the lumberjack match was supposed to be all of the SmackDown roster, but Cody, Orton, and Sheamus weren't out there. Obviously, Cody and Orton probably weren't out there because of the bloodbath that they caused earlier in the night.
But at any rate,
Ziggler to defend the U.S. title against you know it, Zack Ryder, the Long Island IC, the Long Island Loudmouth. I can go on. But but Triple H hoped that Ryder won, and he did a little you know it drop, which was great. Then Vicky and Ziggler leave. Then Triple H said he gave Cody the night off, but or because of the staples on his head, but Cody basically smarted off to him, and then Triple H is just like, well, now you're gonna have to defend your title tonight, sucker. Okay, that's Booker T, but whatever. And so
that doesn't sound like Triple H.
Okay. Anyway, sorry. His only catchphrase is "suck it," and it's not DX time. So anyway, it starts off as a 1 versus 1, then quickly turns into a fatal 4-way, and then becomes a 10-man battle royal. And that's scheduled to start after commercial.
Battle royal.
When's the part where we talk about King's
anal bleeding?
Yeah.
Later on, or whenever you want.
That'll come. Hold on, let me look at my notes. Yeah, that's coming out pretty much soon after the Battle Royal, which we'll talk about. Like, that was actually kind of fun to watch. If just out of curiosity that they're going to take the title off of Cody, number 1, number 2, both Sin Caras were involved.
Yeah, but they weren't both in the match. Basically, the other Sin Cara came down, screwed the other one out. He pulled the other one under the top rope, or under the bottom rope, got in himself. Then while 2 or 3 referees were not paying attention.
No, but yeah, and Daniel Bryan sees this, and he's like, "Oh, I see what you're gonna fucking do. Fuck you, I hate you both. I'm gonna eliminate you," and he does so. To which then they just start attacking each other on the outside of the ring, like.
Yeah, like, and then Mystica tries to get back in the ring, to which, like, I think it was Lil Nate is just like, "No, you can't get back in the ring." I always notice that he is the loudest of all the refs. You can hear everything he says in the ring.
Yeah. He's got a high enough voice that carries. But yeah, let me see. Do I have the order of elimination? Blah blah blah. Everyone to the office. Oh yeah, Drew McIntyre.
Oh yes, out in 10 seconds.
Yeah, he's
still below. He's still below frickin' John Morrison on the card.
Yeah, he got Gail Kimmed. Sin gets eliminated first. Blah blah blah. A-Rod gets eliminated, then Gabriel, then Daniel Bryan by Zeke Jackson, then Zeke Jackson by Rhodes, and Sheamus and Cody have like there's a sort of suspenseful moment where you think the upper hand goes to Sheamus, but Cody pulls through and wins.
I forgot about Ted.
Oh yeah, he was there.
Yeah, Ted got eliminated like second to last. Yeah, second to last. But yeah, Cody comes up big, and he hits him with the mask, right? Does he headbutt him? No, he swings the mask, yeah. That's right. Yeah. And long story short, Cody won. Hooray. We have a grotesque champion still. Now he's even more grotesque because of the staples. So that ended up working out well. And then after, Christian comes down to beat down Sheamus and gives him the kill switch, right?
Yep. All right.
No. He knocks him into the ring post. My bad. The kill switch is on SmackDown.
But take it away, No Leaf.
Oh, yeah. And then we get an update on King's situation. They said he had a lot of stuff, but the thing that sticks out to me is that they said that he had anal, to be quite frank, which is what Cole said, anal bleeding.
He paused like 3 times in there, like he wasn't sure if he was supposed to say it. And then he looks in the camera and he's just like, anal bleeding. And then the thing is, I was reading the Wrestling Observer earlier this morning, and apparently Vince and Kevin Dunn were just laughing their asses off because Cole said anal bleeding. So this just goes on Vince's long career of having to shit on everyone's favorite announcers. Well, I guess one-time favorite announcer with Lawler.
Yeah, Lawler's kind of fallen by the wayside, but still respect him. And
But this was just stupid. The only redeeming part was just to see that none of the other announcers were like really laughing at this. They you could just see that Jim Ross was just completely disgusted that he said this. Booker T actually face palmed.
Like, really? Do we have to do this shit?
no, yeah, it was awkward for 3 seconds. Booker T looks over and then he goes, "What?" Like,
wait, I thought that was just a joke when we went over the show earlier.
I think Cole just slipped it the fuck in. Like, I think he probably thought it was cute and he added it in. You know, he knew he wouldn't get.
His problem is not with King; it's with freaking. Well, I guess it was with King, but his problem has always been with like JR because everyone always says he's better. But no, Michael Cole has his little ego complex or whatever, which I'm pretty sure is legitimate. From what we've heard about him wanting to be the Raw anonymous general manager, which whatever happened to him?
The computer's there. But
he's been future endeavored.
Yeah. Next match is Kelly and Eve versus Natalya and Beth Phoenix.
Yeah. Speaking of matches, we all wanted to watch so fucking much.
Yeah. I hate to say that about Natalya and Beth Phoenix, but they're not being booked strong worth a damn.
Also, we can't forget about Dave Otunga, A-list attorney, is backstage with Johnny Ace, and they're talking about how all the disgruntled employees are just like they want to fire the Triple H. So there's that, and then we also have a Kelly video package. So can't forget about that, guys. That was the best part of Raw.
Yes.
Don't even joke. Don't even say something like that.
When she does that stink face, I'm just like, wow, that's so devastating. That head scissors is the most believable move.
Yeah, it's got to be the stiffest stink face I've ever seen. I look so real when Kelly's doing it.
Yeah, huge, suffocating ass like Rikishi.
So I questioned, do either of you remember this match, save for the result?
I remember it ended with a glam slam.
Yes.
They actually lost, didn't they? They lost the match, that's right.
Yeah, Kelly and Eve actually lost.
Which, of course, means that Beth is going to lose anyway, so who the fuck...
You never know.
Yeah, I do know.
SmackDown result was different, but then again,
you're right.
To claim even booking.
I should pretty much accept the fact that Beth Phoenix is not losing on this.
Yeah, and if they change the title in freaking, wherever Hell in a Cell is, what is it, New Orleans? What's different about New Orleans than Buffalo? Buffalo would have been so much better. The crowd was so much hotter for Beth. It would have gotten your Divas division just a little bit more over to where people might actually care. It's freaking ridiculous.
Why have them care when you could just have them not give a fuck, like always?
I mean, who are they trying to appeal to? Like, they've lost like the perverse demographic. So it's not like having hot women on TV is really going to bring you any more ratings than usual.
Yeah, and unfortunately...
That's not even to say that Natalya and Beth Phoenix are bad looking, because they're not.
Yeah, and as far as I'm concerned, the perverse demographic are pretty much look at Kelly and hide from the cops. But I don't really have much to say about this. Like, every time I see Beth swing Kelly around and then Beth sells for some reason.
Head scissors, god damn.
But Eve ends up outside somehow. Beth hits the glam slam, and Natalya and Beth win.
The bitch clamp.
We move straight on to Mark Henry versus the Great Khali.
The match that never took place on Raw, thankfully.
Yes.
But just you wait.
Yes.
Round 2, SmackDown. It's coming. Woo! Alright. So, we have a stupid, what is it, like, at the 9 o'clock hour, Cena hits the ring, and he's all like, oh my god, Hell in a Cell this Sunday, my face on it, I'm in hell, I'm going to hell, it's the first triple threat Hell in a Cell. This was like a terrible promo, and I hated it, and it went on way too fucking long. Like, if you have, 4 minutes to kill? Throw in another Zack Ryder video package, please. I mean, honestly. So then eventually we get to the Christian versus John Cena, predictable ending, but before that we get Alberto Del Rio with no car and no Ricardo, presumably because Ricardo was in FCW probably filming for this week's tapings, which he actually cut an interesting promo where he's joining this new FCW stable. I believe it's called the Ascension, and he's claiming that he is actually Alberto Del Rio's boss. But that's in the FCW universe.
Well, clearly we can't pay attention to that.
Right, the FCW Galaxy. Then after Del Rio comes out, because he's on the announce booth, he's going to join the announce team. CM Punk comes out, and he's wearing the announcer's jacket. It's not the same one he wore months ago, like a lot of people thought, and what's-his-face, Michael Cole said. He's actually wearing Laurinaitis' jacket. And that's why there was the joke he threw in there. I got it off a bum.
I love Punk.
Yeah. So, then we get this predictable as hell match. Yeah. It's just, well, Cena starts the backdrop and stuff. Or wait, what was it? Yeah, Cena starts the backdrop. But, it's turned around, yada yada yada. This match was lame. I did not like it.
It was mostly bad because you kind of knew how it was going to end.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was just like, what is Christian like? The number 2 heel, 3 heel on SmackDown, and he wasn't even like when he had the top heel status. It was like very low. Yeah,
it was very tenuous at best. I don't know. It just. I actually liked the match. I thought it was okay, but it's like we all know how this is gonna fucking end. What's the point?
Well, how it would have ended. It would have ended with a frickin' attitude adjustment, but then Del Rio hits the ring, then Punk runs in after Del Rio, and then Del Rio says, "It's my destiny," yada yada yada. He's gonna beat the hell out of Cena on Sunday. Then Del Rio, after that, says everyone can go to hell. His music hits, and they have a stare down in the ring with Punk, Cena, and Del Rio. Or wait, no, it's just Punk and Cena because they were in the ring. Yeah, did not care for this segment. But our main event is still Punk versus Del Rio, so it's interesting development there. Then we get our glorious United States title match, which sucked because it ended in a DQ. But then hold on,
that should have won. He just should have won.
Oh wait, yeah, no, Zach. Well, no, okay, actually didn't end in a DQ. My bad. There was interference from Swagger, who came out there. He hits a hot shot on Ryder, and then Ziggler hits the zigzag for the pin. But I don't think Ryder should have won this match. What they should have done is they should have just built it at this, but then they screwed up. After Ziggler wins, they have it so they have it so Kofi Kingston and Evan Bourne come out and they turn into a 6-man tag, but at the time it's a handicap match. And you know what this says to me? This whole segment was just revolving around turning Mason Ryan face, because the stipulation from Teddy Longplaya was that it was going to be Air Boom and Zack Ryder versus Dolph Ziggler, Jack Swagger, and they had to find a partner in 3 minutes during the commercial break. Of course, this didn't happen, so it looked like a handicap match. Then Vicky eventually comes back down the entrance ramp with Mason Ryan, who is what everyone still believes a heel from his new Nexus days. And then what ends up happening is they finally tag Mason Ryan in. He turns face. He attacks Swagger and Ziggler, and then what's he do? He tags in someone else, and they basically it was lame. Long story short, Air Boom wins with Zack Ryder, and it was no fun. Oh yeah, no, Ryder hits the Rough Rider on Ziggler, and we get another "Not the Rough Rider" from Michael Cole. And that was about the only highlight, but it's
pointless. That's a plus.
No, it's not. They want you to think it's a plus, but it's not really a plus. Basically, Ryder gets beaten earlier in the night, albeit by he was screwed out of the title by interference, and then later he basically does nothing in the match, but he just hits his finisher. That's like what was it, 2 weeks ago when he tag teamed with Jerry Lawler against Otunga Cuddy, and the first thing that happened was he gets beat up by the guys on the lowest of the low on the card, and then he tags in Lawler, who then goes in to kick their asses. Then Lawler tags him back in so he can just hit the Rough Rider. Who got more over there? In my opinion, nobody got over. Lawler doesn't need to get over because he's just an announcer. Ryder needs to get over. Otunga Cuddy needs to get over. But in the end, they just end up looking like a bunch of geeks because they got beat up by a 65-year-old man.
Did Otunga Cuddy really need to get over, though? I mean, did anyone care?
Okay. I don't like either. Okay. In my opinion, David Otunga has gained some overness with his new little A-list lawyer gimmick. Because it's funny. And they're planning on repackaging McGillicuddy as Joe Hennig.
Why? Still going to be Michael McGillicuddy.
He's still going to be the Genesis. I understand that, but they feel they've dropped the ball, much like they did with Ted DiBiase. I don't know. This is dirt sheet shit, okay? That's all I'm saying. But, yes, Otunga Cuddy did need to get over, okay? I mean, granted, neither of us like them. And neither did Chris. But in the grand scheme of things, you want every single one of your talents to get over. It's just common sense, good booking, and how to run a wrestling company. Granted, they're trying to run an entertainment company, so I guess maybe they should just... Of course, enhancement talent is needed, jobbers, whatever you want to call them. But they start as jobbers, then they work their way up. It's paying your dues.
True.
So, let's move on to the main event. We got Del Rio and Punk. Oh, my bad. Ricardo was actually there. Fuzzy memory. He does the announcement, and Del Rio comes there. He does the intro. Del Rio comes out in his Lamborghini. Yay! And, John Cena does the worst commentary in history. Maybe this is right up there with the Hart Dynasty commentary from last year.
Well, I don't exactly remember him saying anything.
He was monotone as fuck. He was just like, and this is going to be a really big match. They're really good competitors, and I'm really looking forward to defending my title in the ring against CM Punk and Alberto Del Rio. And you know, whoever walks out of there on Sunday is going to be the true champion. It was just like, it wasn't a babyface promo because he didn't care. It wasn't a heel promo because Cena is not allowed to cut those anymore.
But actually, what confuses me about that is that, like, John Cena is usually a very excitable guy, like, kayfabe-wise.
Exactly.
Like
I expected comedy bullshit.
His like quiet, loud promos, and it's not like there's like any discretion against yelling on the mic, because fucking JR, Michael Cole, they all do it. Like what was he trying to hold back?
And they can just like they can level out they can level it out so it doesn't like destroy speakers of the broadcast. Yeah. This match, I didn't really care about this match that much.
It was a good match.
It was an alright match. I didn't mind it, but I just wasn't into it. I don't know if it was frickin' Cena just taking it out of me, or like on commentary. But just did not care.
I could see that.
Yeah. The highlight of the night was Punk saluting Cena.
Oh yeah, doing the slightly neck a few inches away from the eye salute. I was like, you probably heard the fucking Observer episode and like refer to this again. Like Del Rio versus CM Punk, was it like they brought up the point, was it such a good idea to have Punk basically win with his like super roundhouse?
It was too fast. It was just unexpected. Him doing the roundhouse, Muay Thai kick, whatever they want to call it.
I personally think that if they
it's a good finish, and it was really good when they did it against Mysterio earlier in the year. But it was just not. It was unexpected to say the least, and I'm pretty sure like they could have used the overrun time for something better than all three competitors getting the ring. While Del Rio, I believe, Del Rio got out of. Well, they lowered the cage for some reason. Cena came in the ring. Ricardo was stuck in the ring. It was just a weird way to end Raw. And
oh yeah, with Ricardo Rodriguez escaping and
trying to escape, he gets caught because he runs the cage door, but it's pre-locked. Yeah, and apparently it was really expensive. It's expensive to move the Hell in a Cell around to transport it. There's no exact.
So they just brought it to the show knowing that it was going to be hella expensive to transport, when they really could have just.
Yeah, but let me explain this.
Yeah, why didn't they just have a contract signing?
Cena did an interview earlier in the day on a news broadcast where he basically hinted. He said that Cell would be hanging above the ring, even though the pay-per-view was not in the city. But he basically hinted that it would be used. So I'm guessing they were using it as a draw to get people there. Which, I don't even know if they do need a draw for Raw, but SmackDown, again, the attendance was terrible. They had to curtain off the entire top section.
If they had any kind of draw featuring Hell in a Cell for the Raw live show, then they probably had a Hell in a Cell match, like, for the Dark Match main event, didn't they?
They did. They have a 5-man Hell in a Cell match.
It's not, so it's not like it was all for naught.
Well, right, no, it wasn't for, it was not all, there was a reason for it. I guess that was just, I just assumed that you guys all heard about that. Yeah, it was a 5-man. All I know was Cena, Punk were in it. I don't know who else was in it. Because they had to unlock the cage, and all that was in the Hell in a Cell was a cameraman, Del Rio, Punk, not Del Rio was out of the cage. Punk, Cena, cameraman, and Ricardo. So, yeah. I don't know who was in the match. So let's move on to SmackDown, unless you guys got anything else to say. Any other final thoughts on Raw?
As a go-home show, it was alright.
I feel like that's what we say about all their fucking go-home shows lately. Yeah. As go-home shows go, it was okay. Which is really bad, because you want your go-home shows to be, like, exciting and for people to actually give a shit and be like, man, I can't wait to buy this pay-per-view. And it's just never fucking like that, ever.
Yeah. It's like, we always say that TNA has, like, a shit standard. WWE's standard is very average.
Yeah.
Like, where they turn out a very well-produced, good product, and hey, if there are any botches in terms of production or in ring, bonus. But, like that, but like when you're looking for stuff like that, it's kind of bad. Like it's obviously like the CM Punk promo pretty much spearheaded everything. For like the first month, it was very hot. For like the next month, it was.
That's because they killed it. They killed it. They brought him back too early.
Yeah, I guess so.
That was the whole problem, and the whole reason they brought him back this early was because it's because of freaking SummerSlam, and the SummerSlam buy rate tanked. 301,000 pay-per-view buys. Granted, I think it hasn't done less than 300,000 buys since '97.
Jesus.
It just tanked, and it barely kept its head above water, and yeah, the show.
Yeah, so I guess in order for WWE to do well, either ROH needs to get a shitload of recognition, or TNA needs to do something very good.
Fire Vince Russo.
I could see, and like no offense to ROH fans, but I could see neither of those happening anytime soon.
It's just their limited. It's just the thing is with ROH is their first month of TV is supposed to be a completely introductory phase, so that's kind of the main problem with them. But it's nice to see a pretty much completely wrestling show with a bunch of talents you haven't seen, and a bunch of like moves you don't see. Like I guess you would say less safe moves compared to WWE because they all work that safe style, which is understandable.
Well, actually, like they're shit. Like, I mean, the very fact that like. I mean, I know this is like a sort of kind of different case. Like the very fact that you could have like a move like a World's Strongest Slam to like a presumably gimmick table to injure someone's shoulder because it's non-gimmick. Beyond that, like there's like the WWE actually works a pretty solid style. Like
wasn't there that rumor that like when they first went to HD they had to that pretty much everybody was stiffing each other because everyone's like, you got to make everything look snug because we're in HD now and it has to look good all the time. And
I mean, it's like the best way that you could prove this is like watch a Sheamus match. If you don't think that those strikes are hitting, then look at his complexion over the course of it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying WWE necessarily works a bad style. I mean, it's obviously working for them. They're still the top wrestling company, and they're still turning a profit, albeit it's up and down, and they're sweating in their shorts over there. But it's still the top dog in terms of wrestling promotions. Like I was saying, Ring of Honor, it brings it's an actual alternative as opposed to TNA. It's
as opposed to TNA, which just fucking sucks.